snacks. What it do, snackers and snackettes? It's your boy Gage. Oh, we got jokes.
Yo.
And we got Sin.
Yes, sir.
And this is Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And today, quarantine edition.
Hey. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Might be like this for a moment or five.
Yup.
Very true.
So, we're trying some new things here, you guys, so we can continue to bring you content. We may back off of some of the other content you guys are used to seeing, but we do have some things in the stash that we'll be throwing out to you guys on a relatively regular basis just to kind of, stay in tune with you all. So, first and foremost, want to just kind of do a wellness check-in. Fellas, how are we doing? Everybody okay?
So far, so good. Everything's working. I feel fine. Everyone in the household feels fine. So we're just going to keep rolling. And of course, I'm essential. So I'm still going to work and just taking all the precautions while I'm out and about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we transferred working at home now. So I'm here. I don't have to go out unless I need something. So I try to keep it to just strictly that. But other than that, I'm good. Allergies likes to play a trick on my mind. Like I had the windows open, then I sneeze or something like that, or get a cough. I'm like, okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't touched nobody. I ain't been nowhere, but still, it messes with your head. So,
right,
best to stay in here. Just stay sane. Work on stuff. Work on projects and stuff.
Dig it. I can certainly dig it. Same thing, essential. So, going to work every day. You know what I mean? Kind of have to do it.
Yeah.
So, I guess first and foremost, to anybody who's watching, to everybody who's watching, stay safe, stay home unless you absolutely have to go out. For people like myself and like Jokes who have to go out as members of the essential workforce, you put us in danger if what you're coming out for is not essential, and you put yourself in danger and at risk. And because this is getting worse and because it will continue to get worse before it gets better, especially if we don't try to do the most basic thing, which is just stay at home, we are going to continue to have to deal with this for the foreseeable future. We need to try to take care of each other. One of the best ways we can take care of each other right now is to stay home and try to do things like this. Connect with each other, via video. Use the internet, play video games, Netflix party, watch movies together, all the kinds of things that we can do that, fortunately for us, we are like pop culture gurus. Like this is what we do. And so, we're in a position where, as long as we're connected to the internet, which, apparently they can provide us internet. But that means that there are people who are part of the essential workforce who, for a lot of those people, do have to go to work or have to work from home or something in order to be able to maintain things like that so that we can use social distancing and that kind of thing. So, having gotten through that, I really only have one major topic, and then we're going to kind of, it's not true. I have more than one topic. I always have more than one topic. I lied. But as far as pop culture and things like that are concerned, right now, we recently got word that Wonder Woman 84 has been postponed to August. So my question to you all, first and foremost, is: do you think that is realistic? Do we think this movie will release in August?
It really is hard to say at this point. Like things like as of right now, nothing seems like it's getting better. Like every day now, like I know it's serious. I kind of joke with this. I post on every other day now the Captain Picard meme, like damage report, because it's like it's every day now. It's something different. So I mean, it would be nice to say that, hey, August is going to roll around. Things are going to be somewhat normal, but maybe there's still precautions in place. But as of the way things are right now, I almost want to say no.
I think it's them just trying to be optimistic,
Yeah,
just hoping that August they'll be able to get it out, but I don't see it happening. I don't.
Yeah, I agree. I think you know, August puts us, you know, closer to the end of summer. I
Mm-hmm.
know that a lot of people are optimistic that a heat wave or something like that will help to quell COVID-19. And maybe, you know what I mean, it will. But again, that'll be harder to do if people don't actually stay home, stay
right.
Yeah,
inside,
yeah,
The
that's the
biggest
big
issue.
thing.
to
Get
try to
people to stay
mitigate
home.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So having kind of gotten through the idea that like August is probably not realistic,
Mm-hmm.
but that Patty Jenkins, the director, has said this is a theater movie and it will release to theaters. Do we think that that actually means that Warner Brothers in DC is just not going to do what everyone else is doing
You know,
and go to
digital. Yeah,
digital?
yeah, they're gonna try to fight it as long as possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what they're gonna try to do as long as possible. They're gonna sit there and fight it. That's why they said August. They're really trying to get this out in the theater. Like
Mm-hmm.
just bow down and just accept it. Push it back to next year, like Fast Furious did. Just
Right.
say knock it out to next year.
Not even
Right.
that.
Yeah,
Just say it's postponed indefinitely. I mean, you don't even necessarily need to put the date on it just yet because
like
you
they did with Fireplace too.
kind of wait to
Yeah.
see how the landscape, how things change
Mm-hmm.
up. Like instead of just tossing the date on there, because who knows? Maybe by August, maybe September. Hey, maybe things are back to normal. And then you can say, oh, you know what? October is
Mm-hmm.
coming to you.
Yeah, but we just don't know now. You know what I mean? So it's just be safe, just
Yeah.
postpone it like you say, or move to next year, and let's just see what happens.
I think you know, obviously there's a lot to look at and to consider. We talked about this a little bit on the last episode about how, you know, let's just say that things find some semblance of normalcy here in the US, that we don't know how that is going to be affected in markets
Globally.
outside of the US, right? So Italy hit really hard, China
Mm-hmm.
hit really hard, right? So anywhere else where this is a thing, which is basically everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, if you can release it, that doesn't necessarily mean you get to do a worldwide release,
Mm-hmm.
right? So maybe you have to revamp and say, okay, we're going to do a release in the US, but we're not going to be able to release worldwide yet or whatever. And you have to look at what that means or what that does to their numbers, right? To, all right, so it's out and it's making some money, but now it's not everywhere. And then you have to consider, because of the kind of movies that these are, right? We don't really know that there is technically an overarching storyline that reaches more than one film, right? Like we
Right.
know that the Shazam film does speak about events that happen in previous films, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Wonder Woman kind of is in a place where it's not the same as the MCU, because the MCU is a straight up, this is the story, these are the films, this is the order, things happen, it's sequential, blah, 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 right? So we can even take a movie and give you a joint that's a prequel, like this is, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And not necessarily have it affect the rest of the timeline. But knowing that Black Widow is going to have an effect on the timeline also has an effect on what they're doing with Disney Plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And looking at Wonder Woman and going, okay, is this their new big thing? Is this their catalyst? It is obviously the biggest thing they have going.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else is on pause, on hiatus, not even filming, not recording, whatever. So anything else is already pushed back anyway. What does that do for your numbers for the fiscal year, right? You're supposed to come out. You've already pushed it back to the following year once. It was supposed to come out last year,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we've already done this once. Now we got to do this again. So when you start looking at what it's going to do for your numbers, do you just, all right, you know what? We need to pull in some money. So let's change our plan. Let's get a digital release out there. Because even if you're saying this is a theatrical release, it will come to theaters. Like we talked about with Black Widow,
Yeah.
just because you decide to release it on digital doesn't mean you can't do some version of it that
Mm-hmm.
goes to the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think the chances of something like that are of happening, of them finally biting the bullet? Like you're talking about them biting the bullet just immediately, push it back indefinitely. What are the chances that instead of doing that, they say, you know what? We got to get this money.
I would say there's
Let's,
a good chance.
The closer it gets to it.
Yeah, it's
Closer
a good
it gets to
chance
that
of that.
August and it seems that things are getting better, I think they'll look at it a little different. Like, all right, like you said, we need to recoup some of this money. We've already pushed it back. We got to figure out a plan to get this out digitally and recoup some of that money. They'll figure it out if it gets closer to it. Yeah.
If they do it digitally, do they do it to the DC streaming service to try to get people to buy into that? Do they release it like most other movies are doing? It's just across all types of digital services and you can just buy it and have it?
I
Do they
think
make it so you, in order to get it, you have to buy into something they have? What do you think?
I think yes and no. I think maybe like right off the break, the first people that will be able to watch it are the ones that are subscribed to the DC universe. I think they will probably get access to it first. Then maybe after a few weeks or so, then they'll put it out to where you can do the digital renting for like $20 or whatnot, ever like that. The only difference, maybe they take away free trials or something like that for the beginning to kind of make you just straight buy into at least a month of the streaming service. So that way they're at least cooping that money up. Because if you give them, if you're saying, oh hey, you still get this free 7-day trial, it's like, oh well, let me just go ahead. I'm gonna watch Wonder Woman, and then that just get canceled. So
and I'm out. Yeah.
So
well, I mean, you would hope that if people jump in for the trial, right, that they find that there's other stuff on there that's enough to maybe keep them. Because if at that point you're still in the house, you're looking for content, maybe, right? But here's what's interesting about that, Jokes. See, I would have normally thought the same thing. However, the fact that Disney decided to release Onward as a digital release that you can buy, and it's not coming to Disney Plus for another couple of weeks, is interesting to me. Because people who already have Disney Plus know that they don't have to buy Onward right now. They can wait until it comes out and they can just stream it on the service they've already paid for or that they're already paying for. But if you want to buy it, right, if you don't have Disney Plus, you can buy it and you can watch it right now, just like you could if you decide to pay for a ticket and go to the theater. And I found that really interesting, that they didn't just say, well, here's the deal. We're going to drop it digitally so you can stream it on Disney Plus, but we're also going to make it available for anybody who doesn't have Disney Plus to purchase, right? And so that is kind of a money grab to me, whereas that's almost that old Disney way of thinking, like when things are in the vault, and it's like, you know, we're gonna put it out, but it's only for a limited time, and then it'll come to this other thing. We're gonna try to get you to spend that money ahead of time because your kids want to see Onward right now. You know what I mean? And they're stuck right now. And like in a couple of weeks, this might be all over. And it'll be streaming, but you already paid for it. You know what I'm saying? It's too late. So I think it also could depend on how things look at that time. I think that that's a decision that Disney made because at the time, for the most part, it was like, all right, for the next 2 weeks, school is canceled. Right? And that was pretty much how it was across the board throughout the U.S. All right, so here's what we'll do. For the next 2 weeks, we'll make it available for people to purchase. And then after that, we'll release it to the streaming service because people might be back in school, you know what I mean, or whatever. Not happening under most circumstances, at least not here, right? I mean, we just got word that school is canceled for another month, right? Our kids here don't go back until April 24th. But in many places close to us, in Virginia, in West Virginia, schools are closing definitely. They close schools till for the rest of the school year, and kids are just going from home. It is basically homeschooling for everyone. So you also have to wonder about what/who the target audience is for a movie like Wonder Woman. Right. We are running the possibility of almost being in that same pocket as Harley Quinn. Who are we advertising to? Now, Wonder Woman has always been, no matter how you slice it, a sex symbol, period. But almost all superheroines are. So it's not just, you know what I mean? But we're not going to pretend that Linda Carter Wonder Woman wasn't a thing for many grown men because Linda Carter Wonder Woman. You understand what I'm saying? Like Linda Carter now Wonder Woman. Right? So Gal Gadot, let's keep it facts. Again, we've had this conversation. My parents, after Aquaman, I'm like, was Aquaman better than Wonder Woman? My mother was like, yeah. Pops was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we're not going to pretend that there's not some of that there. Right. But again, Wonder Woman is positioned to be that beacon for young girls, young women of all ages, races, colors, creeds, sizes, all that. and has this ability to be very massively appealing. That doesn't necessarily mean that you market it towards children
Right.
the way you would something like Onward, where you can literally just be like, all right, well, this is something kids want to see.
Right.
Let's make sure that the kids, while they're at home, parents are going to buy this so they can just sit in the house. Wonder Woman's different. So I think the landscape is going to be different. The fact that they have said this is a theater movie, we're pushing this back, and we do not have a new date for Black Widow, do you think this affects MCU and Black Widow?
Hmm.
Mm.
You think that Disney is looking to see what Wonder Woman was going to do, and the reason why they haven't said anything about it yet?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think that there was certainly a certain level of confidence that that Marvel has in the film based on the money they put behind it. When it was releasing, you also have to keep in mind that Wonder Woman was supposed to be out already.
Yep.
Right? It was supposed to have come out. So they were not necessarily supposed to be releasing in the same pocket of time originally anyway. But I don't necessarily think this is like Microsoft and Sony, PlayStation, Xbox. Like, all right, what's your price? All right, that's what our price is. Well, you know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily think it's quite like that, but I do think that I think that from a competition standpoint, Wonder Woman is it for Black. Like, that's it. It's just those two.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't think one would keep the other one from doing well. They're gonna get compared.
Oh yeah.
One's bad, it's gonna be known.
Oh yeah.
But hear me when I say, my money on the one being bad is Wonder Woman.
I agree.
Because the first Wonder Woman film, as good as it was good up until the last fight, the boss battle.
Yeah, I can agree.
Garbage.
I can agree.
And so what I have seen from Wonder Woman so far in the trailers,
I'm not really impressed.
I'm not looking forward.
Nah, bro.
I'm sorry.
There are things that excite me about it. There are things I want to see, the armor and how it gets there and all that kind of stuff. But I have some issues. We've talked about them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So, and I think that there is much more riding on Black Widow because people are so tuned in to what's happening in the MCU. And right now, I think the public is much more starved for what's going on in the MCU and how this impacts what we already know than anybody cares about Wonder Woman, honestly.
And that's facts.
Yeah, all the discussions that we've had about Black Widow and its importance and what it could possibly do for the MCU, like it's I agree. People are probably more lined up to see this one and give them after credit scenes. What's going to happen next?
Right.
Where are we taking this? Yeah.
But because again, they're saying like, nope, this is a theatrical movie. Do we think that even though we have seen Disney decide to release movies to digital, that they then go, all right, well, Wonder Woman's gonna be theater? Theater.
Yeah, I mean, possibly.
I don't think they'll do that because it's just the issue with just not knowing the certainties of when you can get it out. It's gonna get to the point. It's like, guys, we got to get some type of money in here right now because otherwise.
When is Falcon and Winter Soldier supposed to drop? August.
When is what supposed to drop?
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Originally, yeah, it was supposed to be August. Yeah,
I think August.
August.
Mm-hmm.
That means I don't got Black Widow going past June without it being.
Unless the only thing would be is unless by some chance Black Widow doesn't affect any of the Disney shows. Now, I would say if we get like Falcon and Winter Soldier and we still don't have Black Widow by then I think we can take out a good assumption that maybe it doesn't affect any of it and they can actually run it that way. It's the MCU. Yeah. It's kind of unlikely that's going to happen that way, but possibility, but
okay.
How long do you think Warner Brothers and DC can actually hold out?
I don't think maybe let's say maybe this goes on another couple of months. I think maybe a few months they can get away with this. But
I mean, do you realistically think if come August they're not in a position to release this movie to the theater, do they say, all right, coming in November?
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I say if it comes August and they're still trying to figure it out, either drop it digitally or just say it's postponed indefinitely.
Next year, yeah.
Or just don't keep teasing us
right.
with, okay, we're gonna do it another 2 months. All right, another 2 months. No, just say here it is digitally, or if they do it like Onward with Disney or whatever, or just push out next year and say we'll put it out when we figure all this stuff out.
I think you said it best, Gage. I think it should go digital. And then give it its theater, give it like a little shorter run in there, and maybe we get some type of
extended version,
extra extended version, an extra scene, extra after credits, interviews, whatever, maybe something to get people to come in and see it. Because after a while, it's going to get to the point where it's like, guys, we're going to lose so much money. This money that we budgeted to come in this year to support us for whatever next thing is going to come down the road, we've got to get some type of money generating like now.
And you know, they probably are looking forward to this to push sales towards their comics, since that business is having a whole issue over there, you know. So
bro,
that's another level of it. Oh my God.
Did y'all see the tweet from Gail Simone about trying to get Marvel and DC to team up to try to save comics? Did y'all see that?
I saw that.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But so here's as far as Wonder Woman is concerned, I think that one of the things that Warner Brother and DC is able to lean on is the fact that they don't have a slate of other stuff technically waiting for this to happen so that they can do the other stuff. At least not that we know. Right? So I think Marvel is in a different position where, again, by pushing this back, you run the risk of literally having to push every other thing back, because there are likely to be things happening in other stuff that's already recorded or already being recorded that are spoilers for something that happens in Widow or something along those lines, right? And so I think that kind of forces maybe Marvel's hand a little bit to have to go, all right, we're gonna put this joint out because we need to. But I also think that because of the history that the MCU has, they are still in a position to be like, all right, here's the deal. We're doing a double feature. Rewatch Civil War and then watch Black Widow. You know what I mean? Like, come do the double. Here it is. Buy a ticket for both joints, or, you know, get something, you know, some kind of a deal or whatever where they can say, you know, come to the theater, rewatch Civil War because this movie takes place like right after Civil War. You know what I mean? This is what she was doing in between this timeline and this timeline or whatever. Kind of get refreshed and, you know what I mean, come in. So they're in a position to say, all right, theaters are open. We need to try to drive people back to the theater to see this movie the way it was intended. Let's do a double or something like that and let people come and watch both movies or something along those lines. And I think because they're in that kind of a position, it fundamentally changes their ability to have an outlook towards, you know, how they do the release if this continues, which, you know, again, who knows what it'll be like in August. But the difference is that May is fast approaching. Super duper fast approaching. So we know it's postponed, but we don't know until when, because we have no date. And so technically it is an indefinite, but we know it can't be, because y'all got other stuff that's coming out that's probably snitching.
Right.
So you're going to have to make a decision sooner than later.
It will be snitching. Ain't no probably about it.
Facts. Facts. All right. So, let's talk a little bit about this whole Marvel and DC comic book crossover thing. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. So I think it's kind of funny that now it's kind of rearing its head as a, oh, let's do this to save the industry. Sure. But we knew there was some gears turning already. So while I certainly don't think this was planned, like, you know, because obviously circumstances, right? It's funny to watch all these other artists and writers be like, yep, I call it. I want to do this character and this character. I'm trying to do so and so and so and so. Hey, what's up? I'll do this and that. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's dope.
I agree.
And, you know, I would love to see it. I think that maybe even if we don't get something official, which I actually think we are, um, we might even get some really good quote unquote fan fiction from somebody who
Yep.
happens to have,
Well,
you know what I
certainly.
mean? Or if a couple of artists just start throwing some drawings together of certain
Do it.
characters,
Like,
you
look,
know,
here's my
whatever. Like,
character.
I'm gonna be
Go ahead and
real,
throw that with your character.
real talk. I happen to have reached out over the last week to a bunch of our friends who are artists, and they're phenomenal, just to ask, like, hey, would anybody consider releasing just some line work so the kids who are stuck at home have some stuff to color or whatever, man. And honestly, the response was overwhelming and it was awesome. All kinds of people, Rodney Roberts, Jay Lipson, you know, Penelope and Jerry Gaylord, Brian Turner, Mickey Felder, like all kinds of people. Michael Bracco, like, just dropped dope line work. Steve Becker, you know, had links to stuff that they have up already. It was really awesome. Now it's time to reach out and be like, hey, listen, I know y'all saw this back and forth on Twitter. Somebody start throwing some of these characters together for me. I need to see some
Do
work.
it. Do
You
it.
know what I mean?
Right, bro.
So I'm, you know, I haven't seen anything from Boss Logic yet.
Hey, I bet you he working on some fire right
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's what I want to see. So do this for me, fellas, because, you know, off the cuff, y'all know I like to throw curveballs.
Here we go.
2 characters. Let me get it. Let me get a Marvel and a DC character y'all want to see
Oh,
team
you
up
already know.
or battle.
Green Arrow and Hawkeye. That can be either a partner
Right,
or
man.
a versus. That works both ways.
My man.
It could start as being, oh, these two are fighting each other, and then it comes to terms. It's like, yo, we need a partner up to take on this villain.
So what villain?
Ooh,
Ah.
that one's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You could throw a Deathstroke. Like, if you're gonna base, depending on where you're gonna base it from, like, it would be cool to maybe see. You know, we love our DC on CW era. Like, I would like to see like that, maybe that Oliver Queen paired with like the MCU Hawkeye from the movies type of thing. That would be a little interesting. Villain is that one's difficult when you start pairing them up like that.
Merlin could be good.
Merlin
I
could
don't
be good.
like Hawkeye. I don't feel like has any
He
real.
doesn't. That's what I was saying. He doesn't really have
of his own.
Oh man, but that would be. I mean, I'm trying to think. If we went to Flash away, who we got fast?
How about Punisher and Deadshot?
Sure, Deadshot. Ooh.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. That'll just be comedy because Deadshot don't miss and Punisher don't aim. Slim just great. So that joint will be straight comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Punisher just be like, got the job done. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like I don't. That joint could be clean though. That joint really could be clean. What about teams? I mean, we've seen like the crossover JLA, you know, JLX, and who do we put together? I would like to see the Guardians of the Galaxy with like any group of like Green Lanterns, like any like some spacefaring.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, for real, I'd like to see a mix of lanterns. Like, I would actually like to see a group of lanterns that are made up of all the different colors, like a squad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it, like, basically they'd be the Power Rangers of lanterns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On some Roy G. Biv, but like Guardians of the Galaxy and a squad of a Red Lantern, a Yellow Lantern, a Green Lantern. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a squad could be kind of dope, for real.
Or, you know, if we wanted to bring like let's say on the villain side too, what if we had like Lex Luthor and the Kingpin, like try to orchestrate something. Like they both got the money. It's like the brains is there. I mean, Kingpin is more of the brute. He's got the strength side of it.
No doubt.
Lex definitely got the mental capacity. Like, that could be an interesting team up, and they could just find just like, yo, we wiping the world, everybody. Even
that story would be dope simply because you know there has to be a twist because both of them are plotting against each other.
Exactly.
They're only going to be using each other for whatever they can get in that respective world / universe or whatever. But straight up, you know as well as I do, but neither one of them is going to want to give in power to one or the other. So they got to be trying to outdo each other too. That would be dope. That would be dope.
I could enjoy that.
Straight up, I'm with that 100%. 100%. Anybody else? Any other team ups? Somebody you think, like, you know, I think on just some like, just because, like a good like Jubilee and Raven, because Raven's so dark and technically so powerful, and Jubilee don't really get no respect as far as like what she can do. She has some tactics, but I think the idea of the two of them like just being probably at odds more than anything else could be kind of cool.
And then you know what actually could be interesting. Now this would be, let's say maybe the crossover happens, and maybe you know this decides to stick around for some time, like down the road, like how we have the multiverse forming now in the MCU. Maybe there's some type of cross where we have like this multiverse of madness type of thing, with like a Crisis on Infinite Earths type of thing, where like maybe we get to see how we know there's tons of different variations of Spider-Man, and they start popping up in these other DC worlds. So maybe we have like the Injustice version, the Injustice from Justice League, and maybe we have a different parallel version of the Avengers, like whether it's the evil Avengers or just maybe it's just a whole different team up. I don't know, but like we can start to see these different.
So like a Justice Lord's version of the Avengers.
Justice Lord, yeah, that could work.
Y'all got goatees.
Hey, bro,
you got the goatees. I mean,
yes.
we get Captain Hydra.
Cap, you know what I'm saying? Had that.
Maybe this is
that
where
goatee rocking.
We actually get Captain Hydra, not the green Iron Man armored version of Cap. We get Captain Hydra,
like the actual
Cap
on some Superman Red Sun. It'd be in that universe.
Hey,
Superman Red Sun, Justice Lords, Captain Hydra.
Well,
if you do that, what are the rest of the Avengers?
Let's see. Okay.
Like, is the store like swap places with Loki? Like, what is he the guy? Is he still God of Thunder, but he's just evil? You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's a Sith Lord. He's a Sith Lord.
Sith Thor. Boy.
Thor Lord.
Bro. Hey, that could be kind of dope though if Mjolnir was a lightsaber. But
Thunder out the light.
Oh yeah.
He pretty much would be good at that point.
Straight up. All right. I'm with it 100%. 100%. I like it. Look, man, in the comments below, y'all tell us what you want to see, what kind of team ups.
Yeah.
You know, how would y'all like to see that cross up? Do you really want to see this happen anyway? And did you think it was going to happen regardless, like we talked about? It clearly was being set up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that could be that I think that would be dope. I kind of would like to see it, and hopefully if it is a thing that's happening or was already in planning anyway, you know, for what's happening to the book industry, not just comic books, but for the book industry, for comic shops that exist around the world, if it is a thing that's going to help keep it going, I'm all for it. Real talk.
Now's the time to do it in the house.
No doubt.
Yeah.
On that note, look what you did, dog. You didn't even know you did this. How are we passing the time, man? What are we using pop culture wise to pass the time? I know, Lo, you've been sinking yourself into anime. You know, trying to get some stuff together. What else is popping? I know we talked a little bit before about this being a good time to maybe introduce your kids to things that you haven't seen or whatever. Not everybody has kids, so you know, what are some good suggestions? Listen, I'm going to put a bit of a buffer on this. Let's try to stay away from things that have, like, I don't know, 500 episodes. I'm just saying. I'm talking about things that people can consume relatively quickly. Not quickly, but like in seasons where it's like, all right, I'm through season 1. Let me do season 2, season 3. Not like, let's not One Piece everybody into like, because clearly that's a thing. But if you start doing that, you'll never get to anything else. Like, you just because you're not gonna get through it.
Wow. But I would say one thing, like I'm actually getting my girl caught back up on it. Picard, like
yeah.
Star Trek Picard. It's only 10 episodes. The whole season is now out, and so I've intentionally just haven't finished watching the last few episodes to kind of go back through the whole season again. So if you are a Star Trek fan, I would highly recommend watching this because there's nostalgia piece in here, a lot of new stuff that you're getting for it, and it's something that right now that you can get in and get out until season 2 comes around, whenever that will be. I would say, hey, the Arrowverse shows. I mean, granted, a lot of them have a good amount of seasons to them, but I would say not too heavy on the episodes per season. And you can kind of watch, though, like if you have Netflix, I know the majority of the older seasons are on Netflix that you can go back.
They are.
And watch through there. Then from there, just like movie catch up. I know there's probably some movies out there. I know if you have like Amazon Prime or some of those subscriptions, like there's a lot of free movies that you can just go in and start consuming through there.
Prime basically went in and made like all of their kids movies free.
Yeah, so there's a lot to catch up on that side for it. I mean, that's just a couple things. Trying to think of anything else that I could think of right now. That's it. And also, you know what? Kind of like us. If you guys like watch YouTube, like you're on YouTube or wherever you're watching this, like there's a lot of good content creators out there that you can go and consume a lot of their stuff.
True.
I highly recommend that. Like I'll go on YouTube, watch one video, and I'll start getting caught up with
rabbit hole.
A lot of their content very easy. So that's always a good place to go because a lot of content creators are going to be looking to do a lot of things now, like YouTube streaming and that kind of thing, just being trapped in the house.
I dig it. Not a bad idea.
I just finished catching up on Black Clover, so I'm kind of like fully caught up on that.
Okay.
Right. How many seasons is that?
It chops up and it varies, but I would say up to they're on episode 127. Episode 120 is where the whole what you've been dealing with since the first episode. 120 is like the clear ending of it.
So that's 10 seasons of 12 episodes each.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, it's 120 episodes. That's
how you can break it down.
Yeah, I mean, but it was dope. It was a great ride. I would say jumping to Black Clover, definitely.
How can people do that though? Do you know where people can find it? Is it on Crunchyroll? Do you know?
Yeah, Crunchyroll. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah, definitely on Crunchyroll. Other than that, I've been going through Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U, plowing through that. My Hero Academia, just watched the first season over again. That's a good one to jump into. You can also find on Crunchyroll and other places like that.
Okay.
Probably Hulu as well. First season is only 12 episodes. Second is 20, like
it's like 23. It's 23.
Somewhere around there. Yeah. The seasons usually stay around that after that. They're on to season 4 now, so it's a good time if you're stuck in the house. Definitely jump into My Hero. You can see why it's so big and so popular, all that kind of stuff. I'm finishing out Zombie right now. So I'm currently in the 4th season of that. It's only 5 seasons. So
iZombie, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna finish out that hopefully sometime in the next couple of days. Other than that, I just started back up Boruto since I finished Black Clover, so I'm gonna go through that and get caught up on that. But don't worry about that right now if you haven't watched Naruto and Naruto Shippuden.
I was gonna say, that's a rabbit hole.
Don't even. Unless you want to, then go back there and start from the beginning and follow the journey. But I'm starting there right now. Thank you.
Dig it.
Pretty much it for me right now.
Dig it. Look, I started watching Fairy Tail again.
Okay.
Hey.
Yo, let me tell you what I got put onto that I didn't realize was a thing. So on Disney Plus, there is an Avengers anime called Future Avengers.
I saw that and I kind of sighed. I was like, "What is this?"
Hold up.
So I watched the first episode. It's clean. It has certain things that remind me of it's kids anime. It's anime, but it's kids anime. But it basically, and I didn't check to see if it has the Japanese voice acting, but it does. It's got the English voice actors from the current, like English cartoons for Iron Man, Thor, all of them, whatever. But what it is basically is it's about these three kids who are basically raised as like Hydra agents. They have special abilities, and it's like this whole thing of Hydra raising these superpowered individuals or whatever, and they are basically brought up believing that the Avengers are the bad guys and that they're the good guys. You know what I mean? And then plot twist, they basically find out that's not the case. Blah, blah, blah. End up teaming up with the Avengers. It's kind of dope, bruh. It's corny in the very corny anime way. I'm gonna tell you, the thing that drives me the most nuts about it is that every time these fools do a special move, they call that joint out. Bruh, it's driving me crazy. Like your man Thor is like, hammer throw, like lightning strike. You know what I mean? Like Iron Man is literally like missile launch. Like it is so bad. Wasp sting. Like it's so bad, but it looks dope. The animation is pretty clean. Again, it's got that kind of, you know how it is, like when you get a dubbed anime, how sometimes just, especially when you can tell it's kind of for kids, it's got some of that overly hyped comedy that just, you know, whatever, but for real, it's kind of clean. So Future Avengers is now on my list. I started watching Ozark because everybody's posting about season 3.
Yeah, I've seen the first 2, so I gotta.
So I haven't watched the first 2, so I started watching Ozark. So again, that's the thing. If you haven't done that, you might as well jump in because that joint's pretty clean so far. I haven't watched any more of the originals yet. That joint is kind of on the back burner because life.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep it a buck, but I am planning to just kind of actually rewatch some stuff that I have seen already, but haven't seen in a long time. So like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, just kind of came across my joint the other day, and I was like, been a minute. I'm gonna sit down and peep this.
I actually did watch Pacific Rim 2 the other day and Godzilla King of Monsters.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But you had seen them already?
No.
Okay. All right. How'd you like them?
Pacific Rim 2, I enjoyed it a lot more than the first one.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and I thought Godzilla was all right. Like, you know, it's what you expect. I came to see big monsters fight. Don't really care. Don't really care about whatever else is going on. But it's funny how the story just, what the whole story was about and everything that's going on now. Like,
It was better than that Godzilla anime.
Oh God, yes. Oh Lord, yes. That thing was trash. All 3 of them.
Hey, at least Godzilla, he didn't call out his own energy blast and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they can't be the original Godzilla. Good.
Yeah.
Godzilla,
go Gojira, my man. Gojira.
Go fight them dudes. Leave us go. Go handle your business.
Real talk. All right, so I'm gonna ask y'all this: what apps are y'all using the most? Have you found yourself in your phone more often? Like, I feel like Facebook burning up the charts, Twitter burning up the charts, TikTok burning up the charts. Like,
TikTok has just exploded within the last few weeks.
No doubt.
Yes.
Are you guys using or even watching, just like, are there apps or things that are just kind of, we using Be Live right now, like, you know what I'm saying? Are there apps that are kind of standing out that have been, you know, even if it's on your, you know, are you using Disney Plus more often? Are you using Netflix more often? Like, what are you finding that, or does it feel like it's the same, like it's normal for you? Plex, obviously.
Mostly the same. I mean, YouTube, I would say, I've been on there a little bit more. So definitely looking at different content creators and just watching. Like, I got hooked on a couple of things that I started watching something called Good Mythical Morning. And I was like, this don't crack. And then they're like, this
has been around for a minute. They got shows and more stuff. Yeah.
And I was like, oh God. So I was like, okay, I can go back and watch some of the old stuff. But like, YouTube has just become, I'm just kind of going through and just watching random videos here and there. Like SSJ 9000. Like, I've been watching a lot a lot of the videos that they've had on there, absolutely hilarious. Just random stuff to go through.
Yeah, I watch my podcast now that I'm like home or whatever. I'm not in the car, so like I put them on like while I'm working or whatever on my laptop and like watch it and listen to it at the same time. I'm using Duo a lot more. Like my brother called me yesterday on Duo for the first time, threw me completely off. So like, I say my brother's name, and he got excited. Like, oh, I can actually see people and talk with them.
Right.
I can actually reach out to people I love. And it's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
He said, I'm gonna call your father and see if I can get him. I said, oh, now you're gonna have him calling me on Duo, and it's gonna be a thing. So I've been using that a little bit more. All my other stuff is the same. Spend a little more time on Facebook and LS Anime Chat or whatever. Just throwing stuff in there, just trying to help that push and grow. So that's about apps wise where I'm at right now.
Okay. Yeah, I find about the same, man. I watch YouTube pretty heavily anyway, but I've been watching a lot of Game Maker's Toolkit. That joint is incredible. He actually just did a video about just good ways to put together like kind of long form video script and how he chops stuff up and puts it in the Premiere and all that kind of stuff. So that's cool. I stay on Digital Foundry. Y'all already know that about me. So I've been watching a lot of that kind of stuff. But yeah, a lot of Facebook, a lot of posting, a lot of just trying to stay connected to people in ways. For me, because I'm still going out in the world, because I'm working, like I'm not quite as trapped, you know what I mean, as I feel like some people feel. But I'll keep it real with you, like I was gonna ask like how have your normal habits changed since this, and I'll start by saying that like one of the things I've been doing is like I'll get off work at the end of the night and I just drive. Gas so cheap right now. But I filled the tank for like $20.
Who you telling? I did that yesterday. Like, and then I let it roll. I hit the little auto trigger on there and just roll, and it stopped at like 1970 something. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been like, I get off work and I just drive. I just be taking exits, getting off. I just been driving, you know what I mean? Like roll the windows down, listen to some music, and just kind of like get some fresh air and just kind of give myself a chance to decompress. Because I will tell you that people make me angry because they shouldn't be out. They're certainly not out for essentials.
Most certainly.
But even just kind of trying to maintain it's easy to do what I always do when I get off work, which is kind of come home and dig into social media, video games, the same, kind of stuff that I normally do, because it's there, but because that's the only thing that so many people are doing, and because even though there are a ton of people out that shouldn't be out, the roads are just so kind of clear right now. Like you can just kind of ride. I'll be honest with you. Last night I saw a lot of accidents. I probably saw 4 accidents in the span of like 30 or 40 minutes. Because people are being very careless, or maybe tired, or whatever, or because they drinking at home and then going out, you know what I mean, or whatever.
I need more to drink.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean ridiculous accidents too, like that don't really make sense anyway. But yeah, just kind of just taking a moment to kind of go and decompress, kind of think about things, maybe give a few people a call. I'm using Facebook Messenger a lot more often than I usually or used to use it to keep in contact with you guys. Just to kind of
I'm gonna say which was dope. Shout out to you for that. Which was dope. That was cool. Yeah.
Just thought it would be a good idea, man. To set something up so we can kind of reach out to each other. You know what I mean? If we need something, if we just want to talk, just throw something funny in there, whatever. Just kind of try to keep people, just in touch. That kind of thing. So those have changed for me. Once I do get home, it's kind of the same grind. You know what I mean? Just kind of jump into something, play something, whatever. But kind of just going out, looking, thinking, kind of seeing the world. You know what I mean? And doing a little extra driving or whatever is kind of, I feel like, been good for me. So
I'm the tricky part for me. One thing I'm trying to do is do things the way I would normally do if it wasn't for this. So, like get up, just keep my same routines and stuff like that. The tricky part is during the week is having to work from home. It's very different. Like it just feels so off in here with doing it. Like I gotta keep coming back in here and checking up on the emails. Is something wrong? Did I miss something here? Because it's all different now. We're doing everything electronic. It's not printing out stuff anymore. Like it's just a whole new world to get used to up here. They're like, all right, there's nothing here. Let me go sit on the couch.
Right.
Yeah.
But now I feel awkward that I'm sitting on the couch watching TV. Let me go back in there and just double check the computer. Even though I just double checked, nothing's there, nothing's coming in because all the buildings are closed except for the hospital. So we're just servicing that right now. So it's just a mental thing that I just got to get used to. Like the line's coming straight to my cell phone, so if somebody needs to call, I'm right here. Like I'm good. Like it's a mental thing I'm trying to wrap my head around. So hopefully I can do better with that this week. So that's just the only thing that's thrown me off. Other than that, I just try to stick to my normal routines. You know what I'm saying? Just stay busy. Find new projects to do. Yeah. What about you, Jokes?
Same here. Like it hasn't changed as much. It's like get up in the morning, go to work. Only difference is like we're not letting people in anymore. It's literally just the associates that are in there. So the difference is like you're in there trying to stay busy doing certain things, but other than that, once leave here, it's kind of the same routine. You know, sometimes I'll stop, grab a cup of coffee or something. The only difference is like I'll go to if I go to a drive-through, that's kind of the same thing. But say if I stop to get gas, you know, I want to go inside and maybe I'll get a cup of coffee. You know, everything's up. Like you can't just walk up, grab a cup, fix your stuff, be in and out. Like no, you got to go to the counter. You got to talk to somebody. You got to get a cup. You got to give them to give you certain things just so they can't keep the stuff out.
Yeah.
So, you know, that can add a little bit of extra time to what it normally would be for me to, just stop, grab some stuff and keep on going.
Right.
But same thing. It's still trying to keep things as normal as possible. But like, even like going to the grocery store, you know, I kind of typically always have an idea of what I'm going to the grocery store and get, but it's trying to be a little bit quicker now because, you know, you don't know if there's somebody that's coughing and sneezing and all that good stuff. Like, it's just really being mindful of the surroundings is really all that it is. But trying to keep things to a normalcy until maybe eventually I'm kind of the same way you are saying is where they say, oh, you know what, you guys don't come anymore. Just stay home until 2 weeks until everything blows off. Now, once I'm caught up in the house, like granted, I have tons and tons of things that I can do here in the house, but it's like, after a while, you kind of just be like, I want to go out. Like, I want to go to the movies. Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah. I dig it, man. You know, I've been to the park, walked around that joint. You know, just, you know, kind of going outside, maybe getting a little fresh air and walking, keeping your distance, whatever. But like even going to the gas station, I'd be like, man, I don't know who used this pump last. Yep. I don't know who touched these little buttons on these keys, you know, or whatever. Like, you know, it's just there's definitely stuff like that, you know, that you think about. But, you know, because we got to go out in it, we out in it. So, you know, you just have to be as careful as you possibly can. And then you come back and you kind of rely on stuff like this pop culture stuff. You know, there's plenty of good stuff to read. There's plenty of good stuff to, you know, even if you do it digitally, plenty of good stuff to watch and consume. You know, with my youngest being home school, you know, that routine has definitely changed. My oldest, you know, being home from college because they shut all the colleges down for the rest of the year. I talked to her a little while ago and was just like, you know, you want to do what? She was like, I'm studying today. I got to get, you know, like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of what, you know what I mean? That's just, things are definitely different, but they're not so completely out of the ordinary that we can't survive it. Like, we're good right now. So,
biggest thing I need right now is Vicious to stop waking me up every morning because now my time is different. Like, I don't have to get up at 5 to be to work at 7. I can literally wake up at 6:55, walk in here and start working. But he just like clockwork every morning waking me up like, dude, you got to fix this.
Nah, so let me try and keep your routine, bro. Yep. You said you wanted to keep your routine.
It is, but
keep your routine.
I would like to get a little bit more sleep.
Nope. Nah, you gotta look at him. No, kitty, that's a bad kitty. You gotta tell him.
Nah, he about to get put out the room. If it keeps
straight up.
They gonna start scratching on the door.
I was gonna say, all you gonna do is pull out the door. You gonna be blown anyway.
And then your door gonna be messed up.
Yeah. Well, look, Again, you guys in the comments, let us know how you guys are coping, what you're doing. If you feel the need to reach out in any way, shape, or form, you can do that via DM. You can reach out to us on our Facebook page. Look, you can do it in the comments below here. You know, try everything you can to maintain your sanity. You know, for the introverts, I'm glad y'all are getting this time to yourselves, but make sure you check on your extrovert friends. You know, that might be suffering through it. And, you know, even as an introvert, it's good to get some air and some things like that. So, you know, don't allow yourself to kind of sink any deeper, any further. You know, again, reach out to people. It's a good thing for all of us. So with that said, we're going to wrap this up. Gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for watching. Shout out to our Patreon supporters. Really love you guys. Really everybody who has been liking, sharing, subscribing, all of that is so helpful. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. With that, we're out. Toodles and loose.
What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.